Yo everyone, Limit here with yet another Kingdom Hearts 3 guide. In this video, I'm going to be showing you all the locations as well as the little strategies I use to deal with the Flantastic 7. I will also put the minimum score needed for all the minigames down in the description as well as the comment section, but will obviously tell you the required minimum score as well as the big sign on how you know you completed the minigame fully in the video itself. Doing the Flantastic 7 is important due to the fact that if you complete all 7, you end up receiving an orichalcum plus at the end, which is required to synthesize the ultimate weapon, which is another guy we will eventually get to. Oh, and I will be showing the entire minigame for each, so if my commentary stops after I'm finished explaining things, don't worry too much. I'm just going to show the minigame entirely, that way people who are having trouble with them can follow the path I took and follow it completely. That, and I don't want to bore you with my rambling. So, without further ado, let's get into the guide. So the first Flantastic 7 member we are going to tackle is going to be in Olympus. More specifically though, it is located near the Thebes Overlook. Once there, go up the stairs to your immediate right, and once you get to the dead end, you will meet the Cherry Flan. This minigame is quite the problem for a lot of people, so I'll try my best to give you advice on it as I can, since if you can tell by the video, I have some trouble with it. The required minimum score you are going to want to have for this flan is 20,000. The game in question is a Trinity Sled minigame. You're going to want to hit as many flan as you can going down whatever path you end up taking. One tip I have for this minigame is to use and stick to the red arrows when possible. Don't try to move too much, otherwise you risk running into walls, which will also cause you to slow down a lot. While there is a time limit, there is no penalty in terms of getting a lower or higher score depending on how much time you take. You can pass this minigame with 1 second to spare and still get the minimum required score met, so you can take your time and go with the flow. You will know you have completed this minigame for good if the flan jumps and dances in place, and you will receive 3 fruit. In this case, it will be 3 cherries and an ability. The second Flantastic Flan member, that's a mouthful, is located in the Toy Box world. Go to Galaxy Toys Rasteria save point, and the Strawberry Flan is going to be directly in front of you. Press triangle, and let's get this minigame started. The required minimum score for this minigame is 17,000. In this game, you are controlling Sora as if you were in the Mad Teacups attraction flow for the entirety of it, which you technically are. Your goal is to collect and stack as many flan as possible. Keep in mind that as you collect other flan, the flan riding the giant strawberries will try to attack you and knock some of the flans you've collected off of you. And to avoid them, mash X in the opposite direction, so you don't end up running into them. If you do get hit a bit, your score will pause until you get enough flan to make up the difference from the points you lost. If you end up getting hit more than you like, you can always press pause and retry, but remember your primary goal is to try not to get hit as much as possible. And if you are able to get a score of 17,000, then you will end up receiving 3 strawberries and an ability from this member. The third Flantastic Flan member is located in the Kingdom of Corona world. Start from the tower save point and follow my lead down this pathway until you see the blood orange flan. The required minimum score for this flan minigame is 23,000. Now, your main objective for this minigame is to try and photograph the flan in the surrounding area. There is no time limit, but there is a bit of a catch that you have to do in order to complete this minigame that the game doesn't outright tell you. While you are taking pictures, you have to wait for the flan to make a specific pose. If you wait for their pose, you will end up getting excellent scores, which in turn give you more points. One point I would like to add is that from what I was told on Twitter, there are specific flans you have to take pictures of, as a few of them are just dummy flan that don't make a pose and instead run away from you. While I was recording this, I just ended up doing it without a problem and didn't realize I was lucky enough to get the exact ones I needed. So, to end the confusion, just follow my exact movement in this minigame and you should have no problem clearing this game at all. The fourth Flantastic Flan member is located in Monstropolis. Start from the factory basement save point and follow my lead to the Flan. Go through the white door, then once you are able, run down the door vault and at the very end enter the brown door. After that, take an immediate left and the banana Flan is right down the hall. It's not complicated or anything, but I can see someone getting easily lost on their way to the Flan if you don't come to this world very much. Anyways, the required minimum score for this Flan is 20,000, and I highly recommend you be a higher level for this Flan, as the primary goal for this is to defeat as many Flan Heartless as you can without being touched by the bigger one. In my case, I use dodge roll and glide most of the time in order to avoid the bigger Flan, and to defeat the smaller ones I use Thondaga and the Crystal Snow Keyblade Shotlock. This particular Flan is timed, so make sure you can hit the score of 20k before it ends. Pretty easy minigame if you have the same options I did. Oh, and if you need an easy way to level up, a link to my level up guide is in the description below, which I do recommend you check out, as there is another Flan where your main goal is to defeat them as fast as possible. So if you're having trouble with it, I would check that out. The fifth Flantastic Flan member is located in Arendelle. Start from the Mountain Ridge save point and fall down the mountain until you reach a wide open field where only the Grape Flan member stands. The required minimum score for this Flan is 20,000. The goal for this Flan is pretty much the same as the Monstropolis Flan, except this time you don't have to run away from a giant Flan. You just have to defeat as many as you can and get the required score before time runs out. I pretty much did the same strategy I did for Monstropolis Flan, where I would just glide or dodge roll around and use magic and shotlock to defeat the Flans. You can also block the projectiles the Flans are shooting at you so you can freeze them in place and, kill them easier. So it's a pretty easy minigame to do. Refer to my level up guide for easy levels if you need to do so as well. The sixth Flantastic Flan member is located in the Caribbean. Go to the Port Royal Fort save point and directly to your right, you will see the Watermelon Flan. I feel like I've said this at least 56 times before, but the required minimum score for this minigame is 29k, which may seem like a lot, but it's not that bad. The goal for this minigame is to use the cannons to try and protect the port from the invading Flan. Can't say I have any impressive tips and tricks for this Flan other than make sure you're going as fast as possible so they don't reach the port. Oh, and I suppose that when the bell in the middle is shining orange, hit it to take out a bunch of Flan at the same time. You should easily be able to hit a score of 29k if you're able to stay on top of things very fast. The seventh and final member of the Flantastic 7 is located in San Francisco. Head to the city, South District save point, and follow my exact route of getting to the Melon Flan. Head up the building directly behind you as soon as you spawn in, and once you get to the top, just do a little bit of smooth air stepping to get to your destination. May or may not have really wanted to show off that clean air stepping, but anyway, the required minimum score for this Flan is 15,000, so not bad. Basically, your goal is to stay jumping on top of the Flan's heads as long as you can until you hit the score of 15k. Pretty easy on paper, but it's also very easy to mess up. There's also something I discovered which can really mess up your run of this minigame, is that when you are nearing the required score, Sora will start to freefall dive, and that makes it twice as hard to hit the targets you want, but it's still very much possible, of course. So just aim as much as you can if you start to freefall, and you should be able to hit the score no problem. Completing this last Flantastic Flan will present you with your usual 3 fruits and an ability, but more importantly with the very rare Orichalcum Plus, which again is required for the Ultima weapon. Congratulations though, you have completed the Flantastic 7 and are another step closer to getting the best Keyblade in the game. I hope this guide helped, even if just a little bit. If it did, a like on the video and a comment telling me what you guys thought about the Flantastic 7 would be fantastic. That wasn't supposed to be it. Whatever. Anyway, if you're new to the channel, consider subscribing, and I will see you guys in the next guide. It's been Limit, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.